I have a confession. I admit it. I hate going to synagogue. What can I tell you? I go there, I sit there, and I'm bored. I listen, and now that I understand Hebrew, having emigrated to Israel, I can understand what's being said. And you know what? I hate to admit it, but I'm not sure I believe in everything that's being said. But I like Israel, and the reason why I've lived here now for half of my life is that as a Jew, whether a believing Jew, a non-believing Jew, a vegetarian Jew, a left-wing, right-wing, I don't know what type of Jew, this is a country where the whole Jewish people are in dialogue over what's the meaning of Judaism and what does that mean as a Jewish state. We've just had January the 1st, and New Year's Eve for me always has that dilemma. I always have that dilemma. Why? I always have one question. Should I go and celebrate the New Year 2008, which we all know, whether religious or not, is actually a Christian holiday? So, as a Jew, do I absorb someone else's religion? Well, I don't like Christmas, so why go out on New Year's Eve as well? So, hold on. Am I secular? Am I not secular? I don't know. Am I secular with a guilty conscience? Perhaps. But then isn't a guilty conscience something which is Jewish as well? What we're touching on this New Year's Day, on Jan 1, 2008, is the dilemma of the Jewish people. And I think only in Israel, perhaps, it can be solved. You know, I had my birthday not too long ago. It was my 40th. And I confess I'm having a crisis. One, I'm turning into my father. And two, there's something else which is going on. I've now, in exactly 2 months' time, will have my official anniversary. I will have spent 20 years in England, 20 years in Israel. Which means that I just now drive like a lunatic and drive insulting each other's mothers. But on the other hand, I still have to apologize like an English gentleman. The legacy of England, I confess, I know more Christmas carols than I do Jewish prayers. On the Israeli side of me, I have been, and will continue to be, a part of Jewish history in the making. You see, if this is confession time, I'm going to make another confession, which is this. I am a couch potato. When I sit in front of the television in England and absorb dominant culture, I absorb the dominant culture of Christmas, New Year's, Easter. When I sit in front of the television in Israel, I'm absorbing a dominant culture which is Jewish. So that means I can be watching, and Hanukkah is going to come up, Pesach is going to come up, Shabbat is going to come up, and whatever Shabbat means for me, Shabbat is going to the beach, going to the seaside. But it's the Jewish nature of the discussion, the Jewish dialogue, the meaning of what is it to be a Jew in this world, in this century, is happening here in Israel. You know, it's interesting. One of the first recollections I had of this aspect of Israel was when many years ago, my children, who are now teenagers, they were then small, we would pick them up and bring them into the house. I have 2 kids, by the way. And as we brought them into the house, they kissed the mezuzah. I thought, nah, that can't be right. Go out of the house, kiss the mezuzah again. Second thing is, when they were kids, and you know the kids always play with cups and pots, etc., they were making a tea party. That's the English side, in the lounge. One of them picks up a glass and suddenly says the bracha over, the blessing over the wine. Now that didn't come from me. That came from an absorbing dominant culture in Israel. You know, now we have teenagers, and we as parents who are secular parents are confronted with new dilemmas, new challenges. What are the new dilemmas and new challenges? Homework. Today we have Parshat Shavua, and having to explain at homework, what is a Parshat Shavua? Only the other day they came back and they were saying, we have to do something on the difference between Sukkot and Shavuot. My wife and I looked and panicked at each other trying to find out what the difference was. So we today, as secular Jews, are learning Judaism from our children, who are absorbing it from Israeli society and Israeli culture. I truly believe that the nature of Zionism is to allow every Jew to decide what is their Jewish belief. And it's for that reason that you can only be a secular Jew, or whatever type of Jew you like, in Israel. It's also for that reason that I would argue that we have to guard against those people who try to define other people's Judaism. Israel should be a place for every Jew, whether secular, religious, orthodox, reform, conservative, gay or straight, to practice their religion and their religious belief. That's the thought for the new year. And I know it's a Christian New Year, but Happy New Year anyway.